and squad and people, and then discuss about the first work item for yourself.
Okay.
So have you signed the NDA, like non-disclosure agreements for HSBC projects, the projects?
I don't think so. Like I will write an email today. I think it's like whom should I contact regarding this?
I'll find out. Normally just somebody send an email, you just say yes.
Okay, I
So
haven't
I'll find out
received
from
that.
people.
Yes, I haven't received that email.
Okay. Yeah, I'll find out, and then ask people to send your email, and then you just reply, say, you agree not to disclosure
Okay.
about this project.
Okay.
Yeah, leave it with me. So a lot of teams, they're involved in this HSP migration projects. So obviously bought HSBC Canada, so we can actually move all their clients to RBC, and then we're gonna have to make a lot of system changes to actually take in the HSP clients and then put into our system for all kind of functions, right? So I think the credit team, like the FMB team, is working on I think CMS, Sinich, they might have to make some changes, to migrate those clients over. And then from banking point of view, it's a massive, across all different systems, right? From our client system SRF, from our accounting system DDA, and then online channels like RBC Express, online banking, our bank commercial, and et cetera, all the system has to either do some kind of change or enhancement, because there's some gap, from HSBC clients, they're able to do some kind of function in their, on HSBC systems, and then we might or might not have it. So there's all kind of changes.
Okay.
And this VAM and LAM is one of the enhancements that we have to do. So what is VAM and LAM? VAM, stands for Virtual Account Management, VAM. LAM stands for Liquidity Management.
Okay.
So from a high level, the concept, virtual account management is a product, a business product that's very popular in US, not that much in Canada. But HSBC, because they are global, they are a true global bank. They offer the clients in the product in Canada. Okay. So the use case for that is some of large corporation, this is more for large commercial corporation, clients, right? So for example, there's going to be if they have it's a large retail clients and they have say 1,000 store that's operating across the whole Canada. So they actually want to know what are all the transactions going to each different store. So one way to resolve it, say each store they open a DDA account. So that account they can receive check, deposit, post, payments, etc. But a true physical DDA account has a lot of overhead, right? When you have to pay fees, reconciliation, etc. If you think about one of the client has 5,000 different stores, then 5,000 accounts means even let's say $2 fee every month, that's 1 million. We're talking about 500,000, so it's $1 million just for account fee, right? That's a lot.
Yes.
So the concept is instead of offering the client true physical DD accounts, the industry says the bank is gonna offer the client virtual accounts.
Okay.
So the concept of virtual accounts it's exactly the same as account number, but it's not on the DDA account system. It's not a true DDA account. So there's a separate system called virtual account management system. It will actually be able to create list of virtual those virtual account numbers and link back to one DDA account.
Okay.
So that's the concept for virtual account management. So the client actually can use that virtual account number. From their side, it seems to be a true account number. They actually can receive funds into this account. They can deposit check in this account. They can actually do a post transactions account against this account. So eventually those transactions will come into the bank. It will be posted against the true physical account behind the scene, but the client will see a report saying that, okay, for this virtual account, today you received, 10 different transactions. Eventually, they're gonna receive another report that, that's the true debit and credit transactions going to the physical accounts, but they will see like, the transactions coming to the virtual accounts. The main purpose for the client is, it's easier for their reconciliation, because they know like what are all the transactions going to that virtual account for that store, so they don't have to look into the physical DD account to fill out, because the physical DD account can have thousands of transactions, right? So it's very hard for them to find out like what's going on for one store. So that's the one major use case for virtual account management.
Okay.
And in the future, we might allow the client to make a payment out of the virtual account, but that's for day 2, maybe day 10. So it's not MEP scope. MEP scope will just like allow to create a virtual account, and also like allow the incoming transactions coming to the virtual account.
Okay.
So that's the VAN, virtual account management. Liquidity management is another business product. So the use case for that is, again, it's large corporation. So if large corporation or company, if they have a lot of cash in different accounts, they want to actually do what they call liquidity management. Say sometimes like say if I have 10 accounts, each account has 100,000, a million, here and there. Each will actually have some interest around it. But if you group them together, say I just centralize all of them together, it become $100 million. So I might earn high interest because of the higher balance, right? Because it's tiered balance. If you have higher balance on your accounts, then you may earn like higher interest. So liquidity management have 3 concepts. One is they call pooling. So pooling means like it's a kind of a virtual calculation. If the company has 10 accounts, and each account will we will do calculation per account, versus pooling means like we don't do calculation on account basis, but we will actually add up all the interests on the pool, 10 accounts, and do calculation of interest. So the client will get better interest. So that's one use case. In this case, like there's no true money movement between accounts. We just virtually look at all the 10 accounts and just do like a total and then do calculation. So that's one use case. They call pooling. Another use case is called cash consolidation, or So that concept is for large corporation, for their accounting and their finance departments, they have different rules for accounts. For example, like sometimes they say like they want to actually centralize the cash into one account, and for other accounts, what they call operating accounts. So normally those accounts will receive transactions funds daily, but end of the day they just want to actually centralize all the funds into one centralized account and then use funds from there, which they call zero balance policy.
Okay.
So in that case, the liquidity management system will help the client to automatically move the money from those control accounts into one parent accounts overnight. So end of day they look at the balance from all the accounts. It's okay, this account have $1,000 over, so they just move that $1,000 to the parent accounts automatically. So that will involve a true true money movement from one account to the parent account. You can have a lot of accounts involved in this liquidity management. They call sweep structure. You can set it up, which account will be receiving funds, which account will actually move money out of those accounts, etc., etc. So that's the liquidity management, just from high level. Of course, they have other use cases, say if they find the control account is, in deficit, means negative balance, they actually wanna the system automatically move the funds from the parents to actually offset that negative balance. because when you have negative balance on accounts, the bank will charge you overdraft balance cost or overdraft interest, right? So if the client says like, end of the day automatically, offset that negative balance, then they save the overdraft interest. So that's the, again, high level liquidity management, use cases.
Okay.
All right. So that's VAM and LAM. This project, actually it's a program because it's quite a large program, project itself. Is to implement a vendor solution, a vendor product which has the VAM and LAM management, function itself. So it already have they have the VAM function, which will be able to issue the virtual accounts and then be able to receive the incoming transactions and be able to generate the reports. And they also have the liquidity management feature, able to define the pooling structure, able to define the sweep structure, able to automatically send out instructions, able to doing calculation for interest, etc., etc. So that's the vendor products. We don't have to be involved. We're buying that product.
Okay.
So the part that our team and squad need to do is for that vendor products to work. There's a lot of integration. The vendor system has to integrate with RV systems, right? To give you a couple examples, the sweep parts, they want to move money from like one account to another account to offset negative or to move the money to parents. So they're gonna have to send out instruction to RBC, say move this money from account A to account B. So their system would not because the move money part is with RBC, right? They cannot do it. So, but they will generate instruction to RBC, say, okay, in real time, move money from A to B, or end of day, batch processing, a set of movements for this set of accounts, right?
Yes.
So that's just one integration point. Other part could be like the incoming transactions.
Yes.
The incoming transactions always coming to the RBC accounts, right? And from different channels.
Yes.
From the branch, from post system, from ATM, from ACH payments, wire payments, they come into RBC system, and we're gonna have to send those transactions to the vendor platform.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are what we call interface/integration, and I don't want to scare you, but there's around total of 62 integration points between the vendor and RBC, and in the form of API calls, REST API, or MQ message, or Kafka events, or batch processing through file. We are trying to narrow down the scope as much as possible. So MVP, we took out 22 integration points. That's not needed for MVP day one, and then we still have around 40 integration points. Means like either gonna be an API or message, MQ message or Kafka or file. And out of this 40, I think it's around 14 that belongs to another team, DDA system, like our accounting, like our bank account system. So that's integration with DDA team. Probably around 10 with another team, enterprise payments team, EPT. And then we probably have around 15-ish, with our team, BFS. Okay.
Okay.
So let me show you a screen about those integration points. Oh wait, before I show that, I wanna discuss with you about okay, maybe I could quickly show you the architecture diagram for the VAM and LAM. So yeah, feels like a lot of things scary, but middle box is the VAM and LAM system. Wait, sorry, here, this box here. This is the vendor application. They have VAM and LAM. Like this is the box here. This is all RBC, right? So this diagram is showcase like the incoming transactions coming from all kind of systems, and eventually, it will come into DDA. Where's DDA? DDA here. And the DDA will actually send an end of day batch file to the vendor. So here, right? So this is end of day, incoming transactions. We're gonna send it over. Another one is intraday, which is real time. So it's coming from codes. Code is gonna publish a Kafka events, and we might have to listen to that events and then send intraday transactions to VAM and LAN.
Okay.
So that's kind of high level. And then, so that covered high level. I'm gonna send you this diagram as well.
Actually, Syed shared me some of these Confluence pages, and he raised like a permission to grant access for those Confluence pages for me.
Okay.
It is pending approval.
Pending approval?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it pending approval from Reza?
I will look at it. Just a minute.
Okay. Yeah, you just need to get into MMP tickets and get into one of 80 group.
Yes, it's Reza and it's
Yeah,
approved. Yes, it's completed.
Okay, if completed, maybe check tomorrow. Then you should be able to get see the conference page.
Okay.
Okay, so team and the people, because it's kind of pretty large implementation and program itself. So on business side, there is a journey owner like FMB. I think Jennifer used to be the journey owner, right? So this VAM and LAM, it's a journey itself. It's called liquidity management journey. So Eric Yu is the journey owner, and from business side, they have two product owner, one product owner for VAM and one product owner for LAM.
Okay.
And they have program manager and business manager on business side as well. They have BA on business side as well. From our side, technology, we probably will have only one squad to work on both VAM and LAM. I think Sid is the overall program director. Like probably he's similar to Joe's role. And then I think there is a Scrum Master for squads. He probably gonna join in maybe a week or so. And there's gonna be a BSA on the squad as well. There's gonna be 4 developers on the squads. Yash is already onboarded, and he's already working on one of the API already. And you're the second one. And we probably will have another 2, join, in short time frame as well.
Okay.
So 4 developers, and then we have QA leads, and we have I don't know how many QAs because this product has tons of function just out of box. So I think we probably have 5+ different QA on-site, onshore, and offshore to do all kind of testing from both integration and the functional point of view. Myself probably will be the tech leads, overseeing the squads, maybe other things as well from technical point of view. So I will be working closely with you guys, on the development and integration parts. And then we have a cloud team, working on the cloud deployments. So this application will be deployed onto Azure public clouds, and the interface that we are going to develop is still reside on PCF.
Okay.
I think the application you worked on is on PCF as well, right?
Yes. It's on PCF as well.
Yeah. So our application APIs mainly will be on PCF, but we will have back and forth communication to the vendor product that's running on public Azure clouds. And we do have cloud, and our DevOps team working on the deployments, and then eventually figure out the configuration, between Azure and RPC network, etc., etc.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
now let's go to the integration. The integration points that I discussed. So I'm trying to prioritize, which ones we need to work on first. So, um, as I mentioned, like there's another developer, Yash, who's working on this API
Hmm.
here. Um, the there's a list of like, this is probably around 13 that we need to work on. But some of them, like, for example, charge interface, um, it's for like, a little bit later, like, it's a release 2, MVP release 2. So part as, we can discuss this about a little bit later. So the one that I would like you to take a look and start to work on is this 3 interfaces.
Hmm.
So the context for this is, the vendor products has an onboarding process, right? So let me switch back to this diagram. So this is the Interact, application. So for the client to be set up to use the VAM and LAM system, they have an onboarding process,
Hmm.
meaning that, they're gonna call our system to find this client information, and then then call our system to find accounts that are associated with the clients, and then they will save those client information, account information, and into their database, and then they use those to set up the virtual account instructions or liquidity management instructions, etc., etc. So
Okay.
that's the first step. So integration points will be, they're gonna call our API to get the provide a node. Are you familiar with SRF?
Yes, the client SRF, right?
Yes, nice. You work on a BCAS team, or which
I
squad?
I worked on Credit Compass and Insight Engine team, the BFS.
Credit Compass. Okay, okay. All right. So Credit Compass, use SRF as well. So yeah, and you are mainly working on the backend APIs, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the first will be like, they're gonna actually call our API, I'll assume input probably is an SRF number, and then we're gonna return like, information about customer to them. Second is similar, like, customer detail search, and then account list, I will assume like, they will supply an SRF, and we will return them the list of account information. I do have their input and output specification. Just give me a second. So basically, behind the scene, we will find out which API you're going to use. So you're going to call one of the API behind the scene, like, I think either going to be CCP or a new SF API that's from the DDA team.
Hmm.
So you're going to call that API, and then based on what the vendors, let's see what is it, CIM inputs. Yeah, customer search inquiry. So this is their interface specification. So it's a RESTful API, and their request is coming is customer ID, customer name. Oh, this one I'll find out on for you, like, what does that mean?
Hmm.
And then this is what they expect as a response. Result, like, we can go through data elements a little bit later, but from high level,
Hmm.
I don't think you have access to this page yet.
Yes.
Maybe I can save it as a PDF and send to you. So request is the 3 data elements, and response is the sets of data elements. So the idea is, you're gonna call another API from DDA team, because DDA and SR team has the customer information.
Hmm.
So you're gonna call their API, because we are not gonna go to their database directly. So you're gonna call their API,
Hmm.
and get the customer list, and then map to this data elements, and send back to Interact.
Okay.
Same idea for customer details. What is the data elements? Customer details. Again, this probably is going to be a SRF number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bank entity ID, it's hard coded. It should be like RBC, or we'll find out the value, and then based on the SF number, you're gonna send back customer name, customer status, etc. etc.
Okay.
So city, right? So based on, again, from other API call, you're gonna actually map back to this list of transaction data elements. Some of them, we probably gonna have in discuss in detail. It might not coming from the API, then we're gonna have to find out where do we get those data elements. But I
Mm.
would assume probably majority of them should be covered.
Okay.
Same thing for account lists. Yeah, same thing. I think it's gonna be similar or same API call to actually get account list for the customer,
Okay.
right? So I'm thinking about maybe one API, three endpoints, customer search, detail, inquiry, and accounting lists. Um, we will find out which API you're gonna call from the bank point of view, and then you will actually map to the data elements that the vendor requires.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
Yes, I have few questions. So I would like
Sure.